that's a big waste of an hour. Devin and I figuring that stuff out. So let's see if everything works here on the screen. So I'm going to go to the wide. And that should tell me if we've got a good wide angle. It looks like it does, which is good. And you can see the setup. I've got a really cool scenario that I'm going to try and pull off today, which we'll see if it works out. I'm very carefully move this. I can see the camera. I need to see the camera. So, okay. Okay. So looks like audio is fine. Oh, we got doubles. We got doubles. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. You sneaky little game. All right, so there's a wide. DM. Switch over to that, or I call it the DM. It's not the DM. Switch over to that guy. Okay, cool. Cool. And then let's see how this one does. Transition to this guy. Interesting. Interesting. I see how the cameras try to pop up there. We're going to go back to this one. Transition back to you. Looks like we're all good. Let's get a damn game of aces going. My God. Yeah, the echo is just because, so there's a trick we've learned the hard way here, and that is that when you install the cameras fresh again, which we had to do, the cameras in fact have audio on them. Okay, this is for anybody that wants to try and stream and figure this out. The cameras have audio on them, and OBS immediately picks the camera audio up, but only when you go live with the camera will it show the audio feed. So when I clicked over, it just appeared suddenly, and you have to silence it instantly, which is a really stupid thing. But hey, what can I say? Okay. Hoo, ha, hoo, hoo, ha, 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 ha. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the mirror match today. Dun, dun, dun. The cool thing is that I have a camera that is right beside me, and I can adjust as we go. That way we've got some really cool opportunity for you guys to see what I'm doing. So first things first. All right, let me just do this. I can see the camera. Sick. Okay, we'll go over here. There we are. Hello, everybody. I'm right here. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to introduce our cast of characters. We're going to do a mirror match today. And what that means is all of the enemies, I'll take this off for now just to put our characters there. All of the models we're using will have a mirror match model. Dun, dun, dun. Zoom right in on that guy. Whoop, that's not zoom. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. Here's the introduction. There we go. So we're going to do a mirror match today. Try to make it nice and even for you guys. I guess the angle of the camera is what it is. There we go. First on the list, we've got Timberwolf versus Timberwolf. That's our mirror match model, number 1. Okay. Continuing the last scenario that we just played, we just had, if you remember by watching it, we had an attack on the generator, and just by the hair of my chin, our Lance Vander managed to take out the enemy's generator, blowing up the city, or blowing up their power supply, and now the fight is continuing. And this particular scenario that we're doing, we're going to have, what it ended up happening is we have sabotaged a bunch of mechs, such as the Timberwolf and stuff, now that we've taken out a lot of their power, and we're going to go and try and take out one of their other cities. What we didn't realize, though, is that they've got intel. And we'll get to that in a sec, because you're going to love this scenario. I think it's a lot of fun. Really interesting intel. So Timberwolf versus Timberwolf. Vocals versus vocals. Okay. Then we're going to have Devastator versus Devastator. You called it. Let's see if I can just... it's a bit brighter. There we go. Devastator versus Devastator. Ugh. Don't mess with the Devastators. So yeah, Devastator versus Devastator. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. And then we're going to have Atlas versus Atlas. Atlas versus Atlas. Right? Dun, 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 dun. And then we're going to do Ostrak versus, you guessed it, Ostrak. It's going to be so confusing for me to figure out who's what. And then we've got Thunderbolt versus Thunderbolt. A pair of Thunderbolts going at it today. And then the only real change up at this point is we're going to do... Oh, sorry, that was Warhammer versus Warhammer. My bad. Sorry, Warhammer versus Warhammer. And then we have Thunderbolt versus Thunderbolt. The only difference is we're going to give the enemy Jump Jet Thunderbolt. And we're going to have regular Thunderbolt. And there's a few point discrepancies, just to let you know. We did do a couple of point discrepancies, mainly because I want the enemy to have a few more points than me, just because I'm still testing these rules out. You guys have got to check out the new cards that Josh has made for user interface. I think you guys are going to love it. I don't have them here today. I'm hoping to have them in the future to be able to show off to you guys. But we did some major revamping, and I'm pretty excited about what Josh has put together. And there we go. So apparently my bit rate's a bit high. So I'm just going to check out my bit rate and change it a bit, because it looks like we're in the orange and we're feeding a little too heavy right now. Just give me 2 seconds to just review that and change the bit rate if I can. I wonder if I could do that while streaming. I really don't want to stop the stream again. Output. Looks pretty good to me, guys. Is the feed at all choppy to you guys? Because it doesn't seem like it's choppy to me, but it's showing that the bit rate is in orange, which means, yeah, there it is. Let me bring it down to like, see if I can bring it down to like 5,000. 550, 550, apply, send. Okay, see if that works. I just don't want any more mess ups. Should bring the K-bits down. K-bits. Okay. Looks clear to you. Perfect, guys. Okay, so Thunderbolt versus Thunderbolt. Now, bum, bum, bum. Going to the wide. Here's the scenario. I've got these cool dice, these glass dice, positioned. Take stuff off the table here. I got these glass dice positioned on various points. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 the various points. I believe if I go to the other camera, you might see some of them a bit closer. So yeah, as you can see right here, we've got die 1, and then 6 is over here. Oh, where's my pointy little? I got 6 over here, which you can't see on camera. I can't adjust this camera, but I can adjust the other one, which I'll do in a sec. And so what you see is these various strategic battle points are going to be, we think that we've taken the enemy out. This is what the scenario is. We are fairly confident and arrogant in our hubris that we've taken the enemy out, and we're going to go and ransack this town. But what we don't realize is the enemy has already predicted that Lance Vander is this predictable, and they are going to come and ambush us. So this is an ambush scenario. We don't really know what's going to happen. Our goal, let me go back to the wide here. Our goal is we're going to start on this side of the battlefield. So we're going to deploy our guys on this side of the battlefield. And then we are going to have several rounds to get through and take out the city. And over on this side of the city, we have a very specific generator over here that we need to harvest. So we want to get in there and we want to harvest the generator. But, of course, we're going to need to be cautious because we think the city is empty from blowing up the big generator and moving in. What we don't realize is that these points here are going to be when the enemies spawn. The best part about this is that the moment we reach the halfway point of this map, so the moment half of our forces cross this map, then we roll to see where they appear. When they appear and activate all together. So we're going to roll to see. We're going to roll individually each time. I'm going to take a d6, right, and say, okay, the Thunderbolt is appearing at 1, so the Thunderbolt would appear here, and then the Devastator would appear at 6, so the Devastator would go over there, and then they're going to pop up, and then we have to react accordingly. But the popping up is going to be at the end of the round, so that initiative comes into play. So this is going to be a fun scenario. So let's start. We're going to put I'm just going to put my guys over here because we're going to be casual and arrogant because we think that this is no problem, right? We're just going to get through this, like eat it. Let's bring our guys in to have some fun. Let's ransack the city, boys and girls. Let's do it. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Got my guys positioned. We got to get over to said generator over here. We got to take it out, or we got to harvest it. Now, how we harvest it is the same way we harvested in the first scenario. We have to have one of our mechs basically shut down for a turn and can't fire, and will harvest the information. And then they got to get back across. So I think what's going to happen here is I think we're going to get over here. The trap is going to be sprung, and instead of me trying to harvest this, I'm going to have to try and take these guys out. I think that's how this scenario is going to play. Okay, let's begin. I suspect that most of my guys aren't going to cross the midway point, which is literally, if you take the laser beam and you cross it over here, the midway point's right here, so they've got to cross this beam, which looks like they're going to cross this rock face here. And as soon as half of our forces cross that beam, then we're going to have at it, right? Okay, first things first. Let's rock and roll. For the sake of brevity, we'll roll initiative twice. Let's get the old dice out, as we always do. House Steiner. House Federated Sons. House Davion. There we go. All right. Enemy's going to roll, just in case. Just for brevity, they have 8, and we've got 5. So just to let you know, we would have lost initiative on the off chance that they're going to pop out. Let's move the Devastator. I'm not even going to put the AI cards out yet because it doesn't make any sense. I'm just going to have a chance at this point to move my guys and position them accordingly. So the Warhammer, which is all over here, he's going to move 8. So we're going to put this guy. We're still going to be like somewhat reasonable. There we go. Okay, Warhammer's gone. I'm not going to bother ticketing. I'm just going to replace my guys accordingly. Timberwolf, going to move 10. I'm just going to say he's just going to march forward. There we go. Devastator's moving 6. Devastator's going to move up with him this way. Yeah, Devastator's going here. Nice. The Ostrock is moving 10. Look at that Ostrock. Ostrock's going to be a little more cautious, we're saying. Ostrock's going to be like, just make his way over here to the tree, just in case, because we don't really know what the city is, Let's see here. We've got the Thunderbolt, which is moving 8. Look at that Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt's going to go over here. Just take it easy, right? And then finally the Devastator moving 10. Oh, that's a fast Devastator. It is devastating. He doesn't really care. He's going to walk his way this way. He thinks he's going to make it. There you go. Round 1 is done. Sounds good. We've positioned the guys a little bit better. What's happening, Should they spring the trap yet? Nope. Next turn. Timberwolf. This is going to be a freaking bloodbath. Timberwolf. Crossing the threshold. We'll put him over here. Timberwolf crosses the threshold. First of the mechs crossing the threshold. Second of the mechs crossing the threshold is the Devastator. And the Devastator is going to go right over here, checking the city out, unsuspecting of what's going on. Then we've got the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt's going to go. There we go. Thunderbolt's going over here. Thunderbolt technically hasn't crossed the threshold yet. That's good. But we know that the Atlas is going to do that. As the Atlas goes right across the threshold, right there. Okay, now it's important because I'm going to start springing these things, and then on the next initiative, I'll have a chance to move the Ostrock. No, we're going to move the Ostrock. I'm just trying this scenario out. We don't know if it's going to work or not, but we'll give it a shot. Now, I'm playing kind of rough and tumble because I don't know where things are going to spawn. So we'll put the Ostrock here. Okay. Let's roll. Let's take this cool Thunderbolt. We're gonna just switch over to this cam here. Clink. There we go. All right. Let's take this cool little Thunderbolt here and let's roll a d6 and see where it goes. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the Thunderbolt is going to come out all the way over here. We're going to put the Thunderbolt behind the tree. There we go. Because I want in the scenario rules, I would like all of the mechs to come out hidden from view. And then now we're going to roll for the Devastator. Let's see what the Devastator gets. Devastator gets a 5. Well, the 5, it's right here. That's gross. Let's get their Ostrak. Where's their Ostrak going? Ostrak's going on 3. Right there. Pops right out. Surprise. Their Warhammer is on 3 as well. Sounds like a good battle to me. Their Timberwolf. Could be a 1, I bet. 4. Ooh. Timberwolf's coming out over here as well. So it looks like they've got a bit of a side angle here. Let's see. Is the Atlas going to come out on 2 or 1? 5. So the Atlas is coming out here. Okay. Well, this is interesting. It looks like most of the folks came out right around here and on 3 and all the way over there, which this camera's not going to cover, so we'll go here. Look at that. This is, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They all came here, didn't quite get in here and here to surprise us, but it was worth the try. I mean, we did have a lot of mechs here. And now the fight is going to begin. Here we go. Round 2 of 5. Oh, initiative. Enemies rolling. They got a 6. We're going to roll. We got a 5. They're going first. A true ambush, my friends. A true ambush. I'm going to get the decks now. I got Skirmish, Brawl, Juggernaut, Brawl, Juggernaut, Brawl. So we got a couple of Juggernauts, and I've got 3 Brawlers and 1 Skirmish. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the Striker, which happens to be a pretty fast little deck thing going on here. We're going to take the Brawler deck, and we're going to put it right here. The Skirmisher deck, put it right there. And for the Juggernauts, we want to play in medium and long range. No, we'll play in medium and short range, so we're going to get rid of Sniper. And I think we're going to play them... Do we want to play them as Strikers, or do we want to play them as Brawlers? Because Brawlers want to get in and rock and roll. So let's play everything as Brawlers this time. Let's just see what happens. So I've got 5 Brawlers and 1 Skirmisher. Oh, wait. No. The Ostrak is the Skirmisher. Good thing I figured that out. Okay, so I got 4 Brawlers and 2 Skirmishers. Brawl, 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 Brawl. And Skirmish, Skirmish. Okay, decks have been dealt. Everybody's happy. Okay. So we lost initiative, so we got to move first. Let's be real about this here. Let's look at this. We got a couple of folks over here, and we got to deal with this crap. And those are 2 massive hitters. The Timberwolf is over there as well. So we've got 3 hitters on this side, and I've got 3 hitters that I can fight back, and I got the Warhammer at least. But the Warhammer and the Ostrak here are coming in. But I got a couple forces on this side that are going to have to wrap in. So I think the first thing I want to do is I need to get that Timberwolf out of dodge. So I'm wondering if it's best to move the Timberwolf back into cover over here, or if I want to just run him in and try and tuck him with his back faced and just take the beating. No, I think I gotta move. I gotta move him for sure. Let's see here. Good to see people watching. Thank you. I'm still checking my chat, so you guys can talk if you need to. What do I want to do? That Warhammer, I gotta get my Warhammer later. Oh, this is tough. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this Timberwolf and we're gonna get on the heck out of dodge. So this Timberwolf is gonna go over here. And he's just going to sit like this. So he's going to wait and see what's going to come this way. Ooh, he's got no cover. I don't think I have enough movement to put him anywhere else. Damn, where am I going to put him? Yeah, that's a tough one, right? What am I going to do here? No, I'll put him there. All right. Timberwolf backs up. He's going to try and do some cover fire here. And now they get to go. First on their list is the Devastator at 020. So the Devastator is going to into woods covers from most enemies, toward the lowest TMM enemy, and into fewest enemies line of sight with a minimum of 1, and toward the highest point value enemy, toward the nearest enemy. Well, the highest point value enemy on my side is a bit of a toss-up between the Atlas and the... Don't, never mind, it's the Devastator at 57 points. Plus he wants my Timberwolf of the lowest TMM. So my Devastator, which is right here, wants to get into battle with this guy, but wants the fewest line of sight. So because he moves 10, I think it's safe to say he wants to go over here and aim this way. Yeah. So he's going to carve around and go right over here, tuck in. Hopefully, is it still on cam? Yeah, it is too. Hey-oh. Just barely. So we're going to tuck him in there, and he's going to have a ground movement right here, and we're going to turn him a little bit sideways this way so he doesn't get any rear shots from this potential Thunderbolt or a Warhammer coming in. And that's a pretty good shot, actually. He gets cover. He's going to get cover from the Timberwolf. The Timberwolf is not going to get cover from him. So this is a pretty, literally, devastating shot, right? And that is the Devastator. Now, over to us. Since we're even keel, we're just going to go back and forth until it's over. I have moved the Timberwolf. I ran like a coward, folks. All right, I think we got to... That Atlas is in trouble next, but I don't want to move the Atlas yet. I think it's time to move the Warhammer and try and get a side shot on that Devastator. So my Warhammer moves 8. And I'm wondering, I'm wondering if it makes sense to move this Warhammer. If I move 8, I can go around and just get a side shot. No, I can't move the Warhammer in a way where it won't get into short range and still have a shot from the Devastator the way I position the Devastator. Plus, I got to be careful because I have the Timberwolf and the Thunderbolt over here that's probably going to stop me from... So, actually, the AI... the AI sprung the ambush at literally one of the perfect moments. They're going to carve me up on the left side. What a mess. Oh, my God. I got to get a better vantage on this for you guys to see. This is a mess, guys. Ugh. God. I love it. All right, let's see here. Oh, it looks good. Yeah, we're going to pull that one out there. Check this out. Boom. Nope. Boom. There it is. All right, so needless to say, I got my Atlas right here. Their Devastator's positioned over there. That's going to take out my Timberwolf, which is literally right here. And then... I got to watch out for these two who are still going to move. And all the way over here, I got a Thunderbolt and a Timberwolf hidden. And I've got to get my Warhammer somewhere safe. But I'm not going to move the Warhammer yet. I think it's time for my Thunderbolt to take a move. That might be a better position. Yeah, let's try that. Or the Ostrak. Or my Devastator. I could move my Devastator. I'm in trouble, guys. I don't know what to move. This is going to be rough. All right, I'm going to move my Thunderbolt and see if I can get it somewhere interesting. Greetings from Germany. Hello, Viper7. We have another German here as well. It's Gamer Be Happy. Willkommen. And look forward to, thank you for watching the stream. We are playing Battletech Alpha Strike Aces. Big mouthful. BAA. Badass Alpha Strike, or Badass Aces. And we're doing what I call a mirror match today. This is just an ongoing, continuing saga of Friday games that I try to run while I test all of the AI for Alpha Strike Aces, which is the one-player AI variant. And today's scenario is, as I described, we'll go back to the wide. Today's scenario is my guys were crossing a threshold, and then we were ambushed by rolling the random positions on the board where the enemy mechs appeared. It's literally the same mechs versus the same mechs, just to see how mirror match runs. And my mission is to go over to this side over here and to download information from that generator and then escape from across the board. I've got about 5 turns to do this. And it looks like it's just going to be a battle to the death right now. Because if I can eliminate the team entirely, I will probably also be able to win this mission. So this is what it is. And the AI so far has sprung an incredible trap. I'm literally on my heels trying to figure out how to move, and I'm getting crushed pretty hard. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to move my Thunderbolt, which is right here. And my Thunderbolt moves 8, and it wants to be in medium and long range. So let's get it into a position where it can do some damage to something across the field. I don't think I should be retreating, because I could move the Thunderbolt back here, and it could get a shot off at the Devastator as well. and try to take the Devastator out, but that's probably not the right decision. No, I lied. I'm not moving the Thunderbolt. I'm going to move the Ostrak. The Ostrak moves 10. It's got some armor. I want to get that Ostrak into a position of battle, so we're going to move the Ostrak. Let's see here. I don't want to be retreating, but I think I have to retreat. But if I can get there, I can get a shot off. And is that medium range? It is out of medium range. Okay, I'm in trouble, guys. I don't know what to do. All right, fine. F it. Devastator. Devastator's going right here. Going to hide behind this thing. And it's going to claim cover. And it's going to do its best to try and create a lane to fire down and block anything that's going to come at us. Here we go. So my Devastator's there. Now, next on the priority list is 166, and it is their Ostrak. So their Ostrak, which is under Skirmisher deck, is going to move. And the AI for the Skirmisher deck, let's see here. Do I got a good position to show you guys from a different angle? I'm trying to get the angles more accurate to being able to get as much close-up as I can on you guys because I know how much fun you guys wanted to see. So let's see here. Do that. This. There we go. There. Okay. So the command phase is to 18 inches ground movement to within 18 inches of the nearest enemy. So it wants to get into 18 inches distance, into woods cover from most enemies, and into the line of sight from the lowest to the lowest TMM enemy, into line of sight to the nearest enemy within 24. So this Ostrak, who moves 10, right here, it's going to want to get into the lowest TMM enemy, which will be the Devastator, based on where it's going, because the lowest TMM other movement is the Timberwolf, and it doesn't want to go after the Timberwolf. It wants to get woods cover from most enemies, and basically within 18 inches, so it is currently 18 inches would get it further away and into a shot, but it only moves 10, so it probably wants to get, it could go here, but then it's got to fight the Devastator. It would likely, it wants to get a shot off on this Devastator for sure, but it doesn't really have a good position to do so if it moves 10. So maybe it will, would it get a shot here? It would have to literally go there to get a shot. All the way over there. Can it make it there? I don't think so. It doesn't have jump jets. So, oh, look at that. Wow. That actually, he might be able to get a shot off from the Timberwolf from there. Yes, he can. So, and if it goes far enough over, let's see here. Can I get far enough over? No, he can literally just get enough to shoot the Timberwolf. And it satisfies the 18 inches from the nearest enemy. So it will satisfy the 18 inches from the nearest enemy by going, exactly, by going over there. And into woods cover from most enemies, satisfied. Into the line of sight of the lowest TMM enemy. So it doesn't satisfy that condition, but it's still in line of sight with an enemy of 24 and toward the nearest enemy. So according to the AI, if I follow it blindly, it wants to go here to shoot this, but then it, yeah, so it's going to go over here. Strategically, it goes here, claims cover from that, and it's going to get a interesting shot. Strangely enough, it will get a shot off on the Timberwolf based on where it is. And I know it doesn't look like it, but it actually will get a shot off on the Timberwolf. But the Timberwolf will get to claim cover. It also gets a shot at the Atlas where it is. And that is their Ostrak. Now we go back to us. So we have moved our Devastator and our Timberwolf. Now we got to get our Atlas out of here because the Atlas is in trouble where it is currently. But I'm going to keep it there for just a little bit longer because I think it's time now for us to move our Ostrak right here. And I want this Ostrak to move in. So let's see. If this Ostrak could move into some line of sight, it could probably move here and get a shot at their Ostrak. Let's do that. So this guy's going to go here, and we're going to check with the laser beam. Yep, so he's going to get a shot off at their Ostrak, and they are going to be playing cover with each other, potentially. Ostrak versus Ostrak. Rockstruck. Back to them. 195 is the next on their list, and as you can see, it's the Brawler card. And this is the Timberwolf Prime, so their Timberwolf's about to go. And their Timberwolf wants to into woods cover from most enemies, toward the highest health enemy, which would be our Atlas or Devastator, toward the lowest movement value, which would be the Devastator or the Atlas, and toward the nearest enemy. So checking those balances, it wants to go after our Ostrak, Atlas, and it wants to go after this little pinnacle point in the middle here that it's going to try and hit. So let's try this out here. So it moves 10, and it wants to get in cover. So it can go around here, it can go here. It can probably climb up and down for 4, giving it 6, and it can still make it. So it's going to go climb up, jump down, and go right here and claim cover here, and would get an incredible shot off on this Ostrak. It can't hit anything else right now, but that's where it wants to go. And it looks like it's going to pound my Ostrak into next week. That's not good at all. Not good at all. All right, on our side, almost time to move our Atlas, but I don't want to yet. Because right now I'm trying to hold off the Warhammer and my Atlas for the rest of their guys to move so they can skirt around if they need to. So maybe it's time to move our Thunderbolt. Our Thunderbolt is over here. So the Thunderbolt is really good at medium and long and short range, so it wants to get in there. It moves 8. We don't have the Jump Jet Thunderbolt. They do. So we want to put this guy probably... I don't want to go in the open because they've still got their Warhammer that can move, but I think I need to go here. And what's good about this is that it's still going to get cover, but we're going to try and take that Thunderbolt out. And I believe that is 24. Yeah, perfect. So medium range. Thunderbolt's going to go a little bit naked for a second, but we're going to give it a shot. There it is. Yeah, that's a good call. Is that the right call? Yeah, that's the right call. Let's hope the Warhammer doesn't come over here. That's going to suck. It's going to suck if that happens. Oh, boy. The things we have to go through. The pain. The Geoffrey Chaucer pain. All right, so now over to them. They got 222 is the next thing on their list. And what do we got there? Oh, here we go. All right. So the Thunderbolt is going to go next. And the Thunderbolt's going to ground movement toward where the most enemies in line of sight that it can see, and into wood cover from most enemies, toward the lowest TMM enemy and toward the nearest enemy. So following this logic here, this Thunderbolt, the lowest TMM enemy is the Ostrak is 2, Timberwolf is 2, Devastator is 1, Thunderbolt is 1. So these two it's going to satisfy. The nearest enemy is the Ostrak that's moved. And the next thing on its list that it says it wants to do is toward the nearest enemy, into woods cover from most enemies, and into the line of sight of most enemies. So this is where most enemies lie for its line of sight. And because it moves 8, but it can jump, it's not going to jump, but it is going to move 8 and get into an angle on which it can shoot at the lowest TMM enemy, which would be the Devastator. So it is going to go... Where does it want to go? It could move to this side of the tree and get a shot at the Ostrak and stay where it is. It could move... Oh, you know what? It can go over here, and it could... Yeah, it could go over here and get a shot off at the Timberwolf, which is not bad, but that doesn't satisfy its itch. It can go behind the Ostrak, which makes sense, or it can go behind the Timberwolf, which makes sense. So I think the right call is to just align up the laser with the Ostrak and the Timberwolf, and the Devastator, and for it to hit the Devastator, it would need to go there. So yes, it is going to move around here and go right in behind here and hide behind the Timberwolf. And it'll go on an angle like this, so to cover its backside, because that's just smart play. and it's in the descriptors of the Mini's AI, and it does get a shot off on the Devastator, and the Devastator gets no cover against it, which is what it wants. That's the target it wanted, and it is within medium range just. So the AI beats my ass again. Sick play. Oh, man. Okay, this is bad. Okay, over here now, we've moved our Thunderbolt. We have Warhammer and Atlas left, and they have their Warhammer, and they have their Atlas left. That's not good. So we're going to get our Atlas the hell out of Dodge because it's about to get plastered. Maybe not, though. Because our Atlas moves 6, right? And if our Atlas... let's see here. And if our Atlas, which is sitting right here, wants to go over here... I wonder if I can get it... So... I can't get up there. That's the kill pocket. Right? This is the line of fire right here. This one line right here. This is where all the blasting is happening between the two sides. And I wonder if our Atlas just tries to take on the Ostrak, or their Atlas at the same time. I wonder if it's just go Atlas versus Atlas. You guys want to do Atlas versus Atlas? That would be this one here. I could literally put my Atlas right here, because nothing's going to shoot it from behind, right? And I could just go short range into the Devastator. Our Atlas does the same damage on short or medium range. I could do the same. I could just go right up there and try to take on the Devastator, and then see where their Atlas comes, and then put the Warhammer strategically. Does the Warhammer have a line of sight on these guys? Oh, the Warhammer has 2 modes of cover against the Thunderbolt, but it's not bad. All right, you know what? YOLO. My Atlas is going in. I'm going to bring my Atlas in right here. It can get right over there. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my Atlas literally right here. But I want to put him on an angle so that he doesn't just get shot in the butt. Because in Alpha Strike, it's the 180 mark. So right now, nothing can really shoot me from behind if I go like this, and then 180. There we go. So my Atlas is going right there. Matless. Okay, and it's still got its 180 on the Devastator, so it's got what it needs there. And that's my Atlas. And now they get to go. And the next thing on their list is, in fact, their Warhammer. Toward the highest health enemy. Well, that's the Devastator or the Atlas. That's the Atlas for sure. So toward the highest health enemy, toward the biggest threat enemy, which could be considered the Atlas, because the Atlas shoots at 5. No, the biggest threat's the Devastator, which is all the way across the board. Toward the fewest enemies in line of sight, minimum 1. And toward the highest point value enemy, which is the Devastator, toward the nearest enemy. So it looks like my Warhammer wants to go and tango with this Devastator. All right? He wants to come over here and fight with this Devastator, which, let's be fair, I was afraid this was going to happen. And so the Warhammer is literally going right here and claiming woods, which means he does not get a shot at the Devastator, but he wanted to go to the Devastator, but he gets a clean shot on the Thunderbolt. I was afraid of this. And just for the record, I was afraid of this. And it has happened, folks. It has happened. I am devastated. Wow. Okay. Set this camera here. Okay. Let me just get this guy nice and close to the battlefield here. See if I can get some cool shots of what's going down. Nice zoomed in battlefield shots here. All right, so now that that's done, I'm going to get my last move off, and we're going to see what we can pull off here. All right, so there. Okay. The last on my move, and then they get to move, is the Warhammer. So our Warhammer is going to go... If I stand still with the Warhammer, my Warhammer's over here. If I stand still with the Warhammer, I can get a clean shot at nothing. I can get a discount from the trees and the cover on the Thunderbolt. I could... That Atlas is going to move one way or another. It sucks because their Atlas is the last to move. And to be honest, I needed to be like... I was hoping that Atlas could move and then I could pincer him, but it didn't work out that way. So I get to move... The Warhammer gets to move 8. So it's not really that fast, all things considered. And I don't really know where to go with it. Well, this is rough. He can't, let's see here. He can't skirt across. He gets destroyed. He could go back here and get cover. That's probably his best option. And if he does go over there, he will cut the distance on the Thunderbolt and get a side shot on the Thunderbolt. So Warhammer's going to go back here and hope that Atlas doesn't come after him. Yep. So he's going to get a shot on the Thunderbolt from where he is. Good. Warhammer goes there. And last but not least for them is the Atlas. The Atlas says, to most enemies in line of sight that it can get, into woods cover from most enemies, toward the lowest TMM enemy, which would be the Atlas, and toward the nearest enemy, which is the Atlas. So it wants to get in woods cover from most enemies. So it, in fact, this is really weird for the Atlas, but it is likely just going to go, it wants to be woods cover from most enemies, so it doesn't want to be in line of sight from this guy. It wants to get cover, so it will likely go back here. So it is going to go right here behind the Devastator. Never thought that was going to happen. And he will get a shot at the Atlas. The Atlas can get a shot at him. The Timberwolf can't see him the way he's positioned. And the Warhammer is not going to get a shot on him. So the Atlas has satisfied the itch of all of its conditions on the AI card, and we're in trouble. Okay. And do ignore the mechs that have already moved. Yes, so the original layout of the cards is they do ignore the mechs that have already moved, but we have already changed that ruling, and instead of ignoring the mechs that already moved, it considers mechs that haven't moved when checking line of sight and when checking threat. And when checking threat assessment. Green tea break. Okay. So, in Alpha Strike, Aces, the humans always fire first regardless of initiative. It is just the way the system lays out. It's the way we roll, and it works out quite well. So because of that, we're going to pick who we're shooting first and shoot. Okay, possible shots. Devastator can't, because of this, can't see the Thunderbolt or the Warhammer, but it does have a clean, crisp shot on that Thunderbolt, and it is exactly 24 away. Sorry, on the enemy Timberwolf. So we're going to start with the Devastator, devastating that Timberwolf, because if I can do it correctly, all three of these guys can take that Timberwolf off the field, and that's a huge threat off the field. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do our old classic Lynn Van Darian dice here. And I think it would probably be fitting for me to roll these dice nice and close. Let's see if this will work for you guys. Bang, right there. If I rolled the dice here, you would see them. Okay, cool. We're going to keep that roll. Whatever that is. That is a 9. Okay, so to calculate this out, the Devastator's TMM, we're going to say everyone's TMM is 3 for this fight because it is a mirror match. So the Devastator's TMM is 3. 3 versus long range, so it's 2, so it's 5. The TMM, skill setting is 3. Skill 3, 2 is range is 5. We've got the TMM of the Timberwolf, which is 2, which is 7s. No cover. So I just need 7s, and I rolled a 9. So the Devastator just put 5 damage into the hull of the enemy Timberwolf, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has 3 armor left. So, bang! hits the Timberwolf in the distance for a delicious bang. Now, so that guy's fired. So now I'm going to get my Thunderbolt or the Ostrak. Thunderbolt does 3. Ostrak does 4. 4 will put it into crit. So together they can kill it. So we have to kind of do this together. We have to do this together because the Warhammer has way too much armor for the Thunderbolt to take away. So all right, Thunderbolt. It is shooting through cover, so it's going to be 3. The distance is 2, so 5. And TMM is 7 plus 1 covers 8. So the Thunderbolt needs an 8. And that is a 7. Oh, because I took cover. Because I fired through cover. So it looks like we're not taking the Timberwolf out this turn. Now we're going to... Crap. All right, the Ostrok's going to take a shot. What's the Ostrok's armor? Ostrok's going to shoot the Timberwolf, because if it can get through, then the Timberwolf will at least get to roll a crit. So, same thing. 3, 4, 5 for the range, 6, 7 for the TMM, and 8. I need 8s again. That's a 6. So, whiffy-whiffaroni on this side. I'll just, these guys are all fired. My Timberwolf is going to take a shot. I think my Timberwolf has got to go for the Devastator because it's the only real shot. It's the only shot it's got. It could hit their Ostrok. No, it can't. Devastator. Can it? I think I said the Ostrok can hit it. Yeah, it can hit the Ostrok instead. But we're going to do the Atlas Timberwolf on the Devastator, see if we can take it out. So, TMM, or skills 3, range 2 for 5. And cover for the Devastator is 6. TMM 1 is 7. I need 7s with the Timberwolf. That's a 3 plus, I can't see it. A 6, it's 9. Sick. 9 damage from, or not 9, I wish it was 9. 5 damage into the hull of the Devastator. And if you don't know what Devastator's got for hull, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is literally half of its armor. So it's got lots and lots of armor left. Let's do our Atlas now. Our Atlas is going to shoot their Devastator. I don't believe it's within 6 inches, so it's not short range. Nope, medium range, sadly. 3, 4, 5 for range, 6 for TMM, 7 for cover. The Atlas is rolling on 7s, and if the Atlas hit, it puts 5 and takes the rest of its armor out. And it rolls a 4 and misses. So the Atlas misses. And I think my last shot of the evening is my Warhammer. And Warhammer's going to shoot the Thunderbolt. 3, 4, 5 for range, 6 for 5 for range. Their Thunderbolts TMM is 1. So 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 for cover. 7s. Looks like a lot of 7s this game. That's a 5. That's a miss. All right. Well, I mean, I took half the armor of the Devastator and over half the armor of the Timberwolf. At least that's not bad. It is now time for them to shoot me. And following in reverse order of how they moved, they will shoot according to the rules of the game. Well, that means that their Atlas is going to shoot first. And the Atlas wants to shoot the lowest range band, which would be, which satisfies the only shot it actually has, which is the Atlas. So we're going to ignore all the other things on the card because it means that the thing that it can shoot without doubt is, in fact, my Atlas. So it is going at 3, 4, 5 for range, 6 for cover, 7 for TMM. It now needs to roll 7s, and it's going to. Oh, 3. Whew, okay, it missed. Next on the list for its firing squad is the Warhammer. So their Warhammer is going to go to the lowest TMM enemy, which happens to be my Thunderbolt over the Ostrok, because the Ostrok has 2 and the Thunderbolt has 1. So it's going to hit the Thunderbolt. It can destroy, meaning can it put into force withdraw. It can't do that to either of my guys. The nearest enemy happens to be the Thunderbolt, satisfying its itch. So 3, 4, 5 for range. No cover. And the TMM is 1, so 6. I need 6s to hit my Thunderbolt. Ooh, I rolled a 4, and the Warhammer missed me. Sucka, sucka, sucka. Oh. Next is their Thunderbolt. So their Thunderbolt gets a shot off on multiple guys here. What can it force into withdrawal? Currently nothing that it can hit can it force into withdrawal. But what's the lowest range band? They're all in the same range band. Who has no cover? The Devastator, and the nearest is the Thunderbolt, but no cover takes priority, so it's going to shoot my Devastator from its distance. We determined that it is, in fact, still should be short, or should be medium range, and if it's not, then it will go after the Devastator. Yes, it is. Okay. So, 3, 4, 5 for range, no cover. TMM 1 is 6s. That's a snake eyes. So, that's a no. Missed shot there for the Thunderbolt. And next on the list is their enemy, Timberwolf Prime. Long range is 4. Medium range is 2. Short range has nothing. Hey, what's going on here? I see some people chatting. All right. Keep asking questions. I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. Next on the list is their Timberwolf. So their Timberwolf wants to go to the lowest range band, which is all three of these guys. It then also wants the mech that it can force withdrawal. Now, since their Timberwolf can deal 5, it can force withdraw my nothing. It can't force withdraw anything, so it doesn't matter. No cover, which happens to be my Devastator, sadly. And TMM, Devastator, so it's fighting the Devastator. 3, 4, 5, 6. 5. Oh, man, I'm getting super lucky this time around. So Timberwolf misses. And second last to the battlefield is their Ostrak. And their Ostrak wants to go to the lowest TMM. Well, their Ostrak's over here. Their Ostrak has multiple choices. They can hit the Timberwolf or my Ostrak. Since both of my guys are TMM2, it's going to go to the lowest range band. Same. No cover. Same. They both have cover. And the nearest, which I think the nearest is 17 inches versus 16 inches. So it's going to shoot the Ostrak. Ostrak versus Ostrak. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for cover. It needs 8s. And that's a 3. It missed as well. And the last thing on their team, man, I'm getting lucky, hey guys, is their Devastator. Their Devastator is going to shoot at what it can destroy. And right now, it can deal 7 at medium range, which means that it can not destroy the Atlas. It can, however, take my Timberwolf down. It can't destroy anything that it can see, so it will go toward the highest health, which is my Atlas. And lowest TMM, my Atlas, and the nearest, my Atlas. So the Devastator is going to take a pot shot on my Atlas. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 skill, 2 for range, 5, or 1 for cover, and 1 for TMM. 7s. I think that is a cocked die. So it's 3 plus 2 is 5. A total miss-a-roni. Hell yeah. So they have all fired. And they have all been fired because they all miss. Suckers. And I managed to take off good points of armor. So in this first round, the ambush came out and they didn't quite, like, they were just like, what do I do now? I don't know. So they just kind of like gummed up the shoes a little bit. Now I'm going to untap all my stuff here, or uncommit all my cards, which is what I do to see what's going on. I'm going to remove all these tokens. This is like the cleanup phase. I think it's probably safe to remove the dice as well because they don't need to be there anymore. Just to get them off the board. That was fun. That was fun. Okay. All right. Next round of initiative. Here we go. Enemy rolls. An 8. Come on. We will roll. Not an 8. A 3. So we lose initiative yet again. You guys notice that I just keep losing initiative? This is pretty intense. So we got to move first. Okay, let's have a discussion here. 4 of their 5 mechs are on this side of the battlefield. And they're going to crush, they're going to curve in now. We can either hold our ground here and continue the firefight or push into the city and let the battle rotate like an actual rotation. My Atlas is in trouble. I don't know what it's going to do because it's got so many things that's going to fire at it that I might just need to take a turn to sprint and get out of dodge. Now, if I sprint, I can move 9. Where I can go with 9, I don't know. But let's do that. So my Atlas, but do I want to just keep firing? Because I'm kind of up right now. I'm kind of up. I don't know what to do. All right. I'm going to move my Atlas. Matlas. I'm just going to take the shots. I've got to take the shots, you know? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. There's some Lynn Vander lesson for you. So I'm going to take this Atlas here, and I'm going to move him 6. I want to get him somewhere. I want to put him back. No. Here's where he's going to go. Right there. Into cover. Into trees. Into cover. There he goes. That could be a bad move. Could be a bad move. Should I move him right in? Just like, let's just get it over with. Should we just get shooting and pooting? Let's get shooting and tooting. So if he goes 6, he goes 5-4, 5-4. He can go right. He can go back to these trees and just see what happens. Or, you know what? He's going to go right here. F it. He's going right there. He's going to take cover. That's a bad move, too, because then these guys can just come right around the corner and pipe me. Really confused as to what to do with this Atlas, because he's in a bad... I guess he's just got to get out of dodge, you know? If he sprints over here, he'll be a little harder to hit. He'll be surrounded. Man, this ambush is tight. They got me good here. They got me really good. All right, you know what? F it. Just for the sake of brevity, he is going to go over here. He's just going to do this. There you go. He's going to hide the bush there and take some cover and do his best. That's what I'm doing. I'm committing to it. Call it a day. First on their list is their Timberwolf. Timberwolf is going into woods cover from most enemies toward the highest health enemy, which is my Atlas, toward the lowest TMM, which is my Atlas, regardless of activation, toward the highest point value, which would be the Devastator, but everything else satisfies the condition, including the nearest enemy. So it's going to move into this position, but it also wants to maintain cover from most enemies. So what it's going to likely do, it wants to be in medium range from the Atlas, so it's going to go, the best position it will go is back here, because it's going to have cover from most enemies, and it will still have a wonderful line of sight shot on that Atlas and to take him out. And that's where he's going to go, take cover from these woods. Well, that was fun. Because he also, and by doing so, gets cover from most enemies. In fact, all enemies he gets cover from at this point, except for maybe the Warhammer, and I doubt the Warhammer can see him from where he is. Okay. Okay, we got to move now. We got to get moving. Let's see here. Maybe it's time for our Timberwolf to get into the mix. Maybe it's time for my Devastator to start triggering attacks. So he's the Devastator. Devastator's going to go right here. No. Oh, bad idea. Man, where am I going to put this Devastator? Useless Devastator. Can't shoot anything where he is. Can't even get there. He only moves 6, which is hard. All right, Devastator later. Ostrak next. Ostrak moves 10. Let's see. Ostrak can get quite a distance. All right. Ostrak is going to go literally right there. That's where Ostrak's going to go. Try and get a shot off at whatever decides to come out there. Time to play skirmish as best we can. This is it. We got to make it work, right? On their list next is the Warhammer. So their Warhammer wants to, if the lowest health enemy is further than 24, move toward the lowest health enemy. And their Warhammer is right here. So the lowest health enemy is further than 24. I think our lowest health enemy, honestly, is the Ostrak. So since it's within 24, it's not going to move. Instead, it wants to go toward the enemy with the fewest enemies within line of sight, towards cover from most enemies, toward the nearest enemy. It wants to go toward the Ostrak. Now, here's the thing I didn't actually anticipate. Under here is hollow, so I kind of gooned. So it's actually going to stay out of view of everything, go right here, and get a nice rear shot on my Ostrak, because I'm so dumb. And it wants to be out of sight of most enemies, so it will just hide as is, right there. Call it a day. Great. That was so smart of me. I'm so smart. Devastator. Devastator The only way the Devastator is going to get a shot off on this. You know what? Devastator's going up here. It's going to get a shot off on that Thunderbolt, on that Warhammer. We're going to try and take the guy out. So he's going to climb all the way up there for all of his movement. And he's going to be a sitting duck for everybody in the open. But he doesn't care. He's got to do it. We've got to do what's necessary, folks. We got to get this match happening here. This is round 4, I think it is, or 3. Okay. The next is their Ostrak, and is going to move toward the furthest enemy you can get behind. Now the Ostrak actually might even be able to get behind my Ostrak toward the furthest enemy, and into woods cover from most enemies and within line of sight. So, in reality, it can actually get behind the Ostrak, and I think that's where it's going to go. So it's going to go right there. So it is also in behind. I think my Ostrak's dead, to be honest. That's horrible. Darn it. Well, in that case, we better have some fun with this. So then my Timberwolf's turn to move. And I'm going to move my Timberwolf right here, because I'm going to get cover, and I'm going to shoot through there, and I'm going to pop their Ostrak. Try and get rid of that stupid thing while maintaining cover from the rest of these guys. That's what I'm going to do. So my Timberwolf's going to go right there. See if we can have a little fun here. Okay. Now, over here, let's see, what do we got? We've got, the next on their list is 561, or the 575, and 798. Their Thunderbolt's going to go. It is going to move toward the furthest enemy you can get behind, jump toward the furthest enemy into woods cover from most enemies, toward the fewest enemies in line of sight. Its jump is 8. It wants to jump this turn. It cannot jump behind the Atlas, cannot jump behind the Ostrak. So then it will move toward the furthest enemy it can get behind, or jump toward the furthest enemy, which would be the Devastator. Yeah, so it still wants to get woods cover from most enemies. Devastator's over here. It actually can jump. Wow, it can jump up here and get cover. It doesn't want to go anywhere near the Atlas. So maybe it's going to go. It wants to get the Devastator. It wants the Devastator, and the Devastator, it can go literally right here. So it's, woods cover for most enemies. Yeah, that is the woods cover for most enemies. So if it goes right there, what's really weird about this is that where it is there, it actually has full line of sight on the Devastator. It has no cover from the Devastator. It has cover from the Devastator, and it has cover from the Ostrak, and it is blocked from the Warhammer and blocked from my Direwolf, but it does get line of sight on the Thunderbolt. So really, that's where it's jumping to. Sick. On our side, it's time for us to move our Thunderbolt. And our Thunderbolt moves 8. And I want this Thunderbolt to get over here and get a shot on this Warhammer. So Thunderbolt's going to go right here. Don't think anything can shoot it from where it is. It is going to get a pop shot on the Warhammer. We're going to try and get this darn thing out. Get this guy out of the battlefield if I can. And then they get to go. And their Atlas is moving now. The Atlas is going to stand still if no enemies within 16 and at least one enemy is within line of sight. There are no enemies that it can shoot currently. So, actually, there is a chance that it can shoot my Devastator at long range because of the elevation. Towards the biggest threat, which would be the Devastator, or my Atlas, toward the biggest enemy, or the nearest enemy, which would be my Atlas. So it is likely going to go. 6 could go there. Whoop. It's going to go right here. get cover, and it's going to try and take out the Atlas. Atlas versus Atlas, folks. Atlas versus Atlas. Now, my Warhammer's last to go. It's got 8. I see some more chatting. I'll get you guys in just a sec. It's got 8. It's got to get moving, man. And then its Devastator gets to go. This is bad. Its Devastator's going to go next. My Warhammer's just got to get into the battlefield now. Oh, you know what? Warhammer's going to go right here. So the Warhammer going right here, can he get there? No, he can only get here. Is that 24? No, it's long range. Okay, I was going to move the Warhammer here because then he could get a shot through the hole and try and get that guy out. Try to shoot the other Warhammer, but that's not going to happen. So, you know what? I think the Warhammer is going to stay still and pop into the Atlas. That's what we're going to do. And last but not least, on their side, their Devastator. Stand still if no enemies within 12. If enemies within 12, so there's none that he can shoot, into woods cover from most enemies toward biggest threat enemy, toward the fewest enemies in line of sight. I forgot that their Devastator moves 10. So, toward the biggest threat enemy, toward the enemies with the fewest line of sight, toward the nearest enemy, which is going to be the Atlas. It wants to kill the Atlas. So it's literally going to go right here and get cover from the Atlas. It can get shot by the Warhammer, but it doesn't care because it gets cover from it. And it's going to get short range on the Atlas. And we're just going to pump. Although the Devastator wants to get in medium range. So because it wants to be in medium range, which is a priority choice, it can go all the way over here and still shoot the Atlas through the woods. That's what's going to go instead. And then it gets no shot by the Warhammer. So it's even smarter. Damn. Well, okay then. Let me see what I've got here. I'm going to get a different camera lens for you guys. Camera angle, see if I can get some shots off. This is very disorienting, going sideways on this. There we go. Okay. There's the Devastator. He's going to try and get some shots off across the field. You can see across the field here. That's the wrong way. You got to get across the field. There. There's the angle you want. So you can see all the way across the field there. There's a bunch of battles going on. We got my Warhammer there, or my... Those guys are hidden in there. This is not the angle that I thought it was going to be. But hey, let's try it out. Okay, first things first. Oh, it does look good. Nice. Let's roll some dice. First things first. Let's see if we can get some stuff off the board. Let's put the Devastator into this Warhammer. So it's going to be 3 skill, 4, 5 for range, 6 for cover, and the Warhammer's TMM is 1, so 6, 7. So I need 7s. 6 for 7s. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7s. So I need 7s. I rolled a 6, because dang it. So the Devastator, which I really needed to hit, was 5 damage. I really needed that 5 damage to hit. Why does their Devastator have 54 points? Ours is 57. Theirs hits on a 7 damage worth. I got the DVS 11. They got the DVS 2. Oh, gross. All right. Well, I guess I messed that one up. So the Devastator's fired. Let's get the Thunderbolt in the back of that Warhammer now. Thunderbolt is, or to the side of the Warhammer, is it in close range? Please, please, please. I would like the added benefit. Yes. 3. 4 for cover, 5 for TMM. I need 5s. That is a 7. Clink. Thunderbolt puts 3 damage into the side of the Warhammer. 1, 2, 3. 2 armor left. And it is fired. Now, I want my Timberwolf to shoot and maybe take that Warhammer out. I want to go that route. Yeah, I think the Timberwolf's got it. The Timberwolf's the last chance. It's the last chance. So the Timberwolf's going to take a shot at the Warhammer. Let me see. So you guys can't see it from this angle. But let me see if the laser pointer actually hits. Yeah, it's got cover. Okay. So what you can see here is that this is hollow underneath, so you can actually shoot through it, which is kind of cool. Let's see what happens. Use the gold dice this time. 3, medium range, 4, 5, cover 6, 7 for TMM. 6 plus 1 is 7. Boom! Okay. So the Timberwolf puts 5 damage into the Warhammer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just not enough to make it withdrawal, but puts 3 into the hull and rolls for a crit. That was a 5. A 5 on the critical hits chart is no critical hit. So no benefit, but I need to do 1 more damage to the Warhammer to make it withdrawal. Is it half? If it deals half, it's withdrawal, right? If anybody's out there watching, is force withdrawal half into the hull? Or is it based on over half? Because if it's half into the hull, then I've got him. If it's over half, then I don't have him. So I'll let you discuss that in a second, because if that's the case, then the Warhammer is technically retreating next turn. So I fired with 3 of my mechs. I've got the Ostrak still to fire. The Ostrak technically has a shot at the Thunderbolt or the Atlas. Maybe we try and take Atlases off the field, because their Atlas hasn't been hit, but also their Thunderbolt has armor based on pretty good armor too. Jesus. My Ostrak is going to shoot. The jumps can make it harder. So 3, 4, 5 for range. There is no cover from that Atlas. 3, 4, 5 at range. 6 for the TMM. I need 6s. Half internal? Sick. Warhammer's gone. It's going to retreat. I need 6s to hit this Atlas with the Ostrak. I rolled a 4. I missed. So the Ostrak is fired. And now my Atlas into their Atlas. So it's going to be 3, 4, 5 for range, 6 for cover, 7 for TMM. Let's go for 7s. 10! Boom! My Atlas deals 5 damage at the range it does into their Atlas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's half of its health. Jesus Christ. It's half of its health. Half of its armor. And then I might as well shoot the Warhammer now. To get it. Pop, lock, and drop on the Atlas. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6 for cover, 7 again. I need 7s. And my Warhammer's putting in a solid 6 plus 2 is 7. So the Warhammer gets its damage in, and the Warhammer's putting in 4 at that distance. So another 4 on the armor puts the Atlas down, puts the enemy Atlas down to 1 armoroni. 1 armoroni. And that's that. All my guys have fired. Time for the payback. And on the top of the list on the payback is their Atlas, or their Devastator on the return fire. So their Devastator has a couple of shots they can pull off here. 1 shot it can pull off. It's going to hit my Atlas. And that's the only shot it gets. So it is basically going to roll 3, 4, 5 for range, 6 for TMM, 7 for cover. And their Atlas rolls a 9. Or their Devastator rolls a 9. And their Devastator puts 7 into my Atlas. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That puts me 3 armor left. Oh my God, that's gonna suck. Ooh, thanks, Devastator. And then the next on the list is their Atlas. Put my Atlas out of misery. So can destroy. Well, it just so happens that if it puts 5 into my Atlas, it gets it into not force withdrawal, but it does do damage. It can't do the same amount of damage to the Warhammer. Closest range, closest TMM, lowest TMM, no cover, and nearest. So it satisfies most of the conditions to fight my Atlas. 3, 4, 5, 6 for cover, 7 for TMM. That is a sick 9. So it is putting 5 damage into my Atlas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 into my hull. And a critical roll, which is 8. And it put, of course it did, a weapon hit. So the weapon hit on my Atlas was already neutered at the beginning with damage. Is now neutered even more. And I have 5 health left on my... Wait. They're all blending together. 2, 4, 6. I have 6 health left on my Atlas. I can take 2 more before I have to go force withdrawal. So he's basically kamikazing next turn. Running in and doing as much. He was screwed to begin with. I mean, that's where he was, right? Oh, God. Next on the list is their Devastator, or their Ostrak, because hello. And let's see, their Ostrak is behind my Ostrak, so lowest range, my Ostrak, highest threat, doesn't matter. Lowest TMM, doesn't matter. Nearest, my Ostrak. And it is short range, in the backside, 3, 4 for TMM. I need 4s. For +1 damage, I rolled a 7. So their Ostrak just put 5 damage into the back of my Ostrak, which wipes his armor entirely. Next on the list is their Thunderbolt. So their Thunderbolt's going to be lowest range and lowest TMM. Well, the lowest range is my Ostrak. Lowest TMM is the Devastator. The highest threat actually is the Devastator. And the nearest is the Ostrak. So in this case, I think it's going to go, it's even Steven either way, but it doesn't have a can destroy mechanic to it because weirdly enough, the way the AI is playing right now, because it's a skirmisher working with a brawler, it's expecting that the brawler is getting where it needs to be. And the brawler that's left to shoot is the Warhammer, which means that the Warhammer, oh God, I got to show you guys this. This is nuts. Yeah. So, oh my God, this is crazy. So it knows that the Warhammer is where it is, and it knows that the Warhammer gets a shot in the backside of the Ostrak here that you can't see because of the camera angle, which I could probably rotate a little bit for you guys to see. Yeah, that might work. I might hit the camera a few times here, so I apologize in advance. So, there we go. So, the Ostrak is here, behind this tree, and the Warhammer's right here, shooting through this underground hallway piece. There's the Thunderbolt here. Now, the Thunderbolt, what's interesting about this, I just zoomed in there. The Thunderbolt is reading as range and TMM versus threat. It actually wants to shoot the Devastator because it assumes that the Warhammer, which has left to shoot, is actually going to shoot the Ostrak and kill it. So it's going to crossfire and take a shot. Very smart AI, because when skirmishers and brawlers mix their decks together, it becomes a really interesting play, and they actually play like they're supposed to. Brilliant AI. So the Thunderbolt's going to take a shot over at the open-ended Devastator. So the Thunderbolt's rolling at a 3, 4-5 for distance, no cover, but +1 for TMM, and then +1 for jumping. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it needs to get me some 7s. So roll this dice here, and that is a 5, 6, 7. So it actually hit me. The Thunderbolt just put 3 damage into my Devastator, which laughs because it has all of its armor still, but it put 3 damage into the Devastator. And the last thing for it to fire on their side before the next round is their Warhammer, who is retreating. But the Warhammer is basically getting the Can Destroy model, which is going to try and take the Ostrak out, because it is putting 7 damage into the back of the Ostrak. This is a complete wipeout if it hits, just for the record. A complete wipeout. So I need 3, 4 for TMM. I just need 4. And that's 5. Ostrak is gone. The Ostrak is wiped off the battlefield. Well, thanks a lot, Ostrak. Dead. Wow. Okay. Ass kick my own AI here. And that is the turn. So I'm just going to redo the decks real quick. Shuffle them up. Ooh, gosh. Shuffle up real good here now that we've got the new... There we go. Lay out the cards. And so how you play Aces is you shuffle this stuff up here, and then you lay them out randomly to figure out where they're going and how they're playing. I've got a skirmisher deck and a brawler deck, and we are doing what's called a mirror match. And so far, I'm losing the mirror match. Round 4, I'm just going to get rid of the round requirement because I have to kill these guys or I lose the match. Technically, I think I'm losing this match, but let's just see what happens. Let's see if we can just end this battle and just go right to battle and take each other out. I'm going to move this back because I don't want that to get in the way. Okay. Clear all this stuff off. It's a small world after all. Oof. Oof. So many things to clean. So much maintenance in this game. I love it. It's kind of fun, actually, just because it's a slow-paced, real strategy-like game. So it's a lot of fun. All right, let's roll for initiative. Let's see if I can win one for once. Enemies roll a 9, and I roll an 8. Oh, God. Why does the world hate me? I gotta start rolling different dice. Well, we have to move first. Here's the problem. We're in trouble. Let's call it that. I'm going to move the Devastator first. Since my Devastator has taken only a little bit of damage, I want my Devastator to goad things. So it only moves 6. So I'm going to goad the Devastator down. So it's going to take 2 to get down, so it can move 4. So I'm going to move the Devastator right here. Right there. There's my Devastator's going to go. And it's going to maintain some sort of cover from nothing. No, I don't want that. I want the Devastator to go right here. It's going to go right back all the way down over here. Get you right in there just to show you what that looks like from a distance. From a distance. So there's my Devastator. I just moved him down here. Put a little token there beside him. This guy's going to claim cover here. He's got a lane of fire. What's cool is that he's got a lane of fire. You can see the laser beam down all the way down this pocket here and can hit everything in that line of fire. And then it's got a full lane of fire down here, and we're going to suppress that field as well. So I think the Devastator is going to do its best to try and pop whatever it can, even though my Atlas has got weapon hits and stuff, so we're in trouble. Okay, Devastator's moved. Now, on their list, what do we got here? The lowest on their list at 065 is their Devastator. And what does this Devastator do? The Devastator goes into woods cover from most enemies toward the highest health enemy, which is no longer the Atlas. It is actually now my Devastator or my Timberwolf. Lower the lowest TMM enemy, which is our Devastator, toward the highest point value enemy. Our Devastator toward the nearest enemy. Doesn't matter. All the rest satisfy. It is going to make a very long trekking haul toward me. And so, oopsie daisies, stepped on my own sound cable. And so, based on that knowledge, for 6, it will go over here. And hide behind this tree to get any lanes that it needs to get. It's hiding all the way over here. Perfect. And their Devastator's gone. So now we get to go. I have moved my Devastator. Now I want to move my Thunderbolt. I need to get my Thunderbolt in there somehow. No. My Atlas is dead. Let's just make it work. My Warhammer's useless. It's not doing anything right now. I'm running out of models. Timberwolf time? Timberwolf time. Timberwolf's going here behind the woods. And in a way that the Timberwolf can shoot down here and shoot down here. Timberwolf's moving in. Done. Next on their list, 135, is their Timberwolf. If the lowest health enemy is further than 24, move toward the lowest health enemy. No, the lowest health enemy is not further than 24. If fewest enemy within line of sight, into woods cover from most enemies toward the nearest enemy. So it, by this ruling, because it's going to go check on activations versus lowest health, it wants to go finish off the Atlas. It wants that Atlas to retreat. And since the Atlas has got wiped everything down and just needs basically one solid hit, it's not going to bother dealing with anything and make its way. So, are you guys collecting channel points? Saving them up for whenever we do D&D again next? Okay. Timberwolf wants to kill this Atlas, but it needs to make its way over. It can make its way here and get a shot. Yeah, so it's actually going to go Lowest health enemy. Thunderbolt technically counts as well. Nope, it's going to go take out this this Atlas because it knows it can. So 10, it's going to go up here. And because it goes up there, it actually... No, it doesn't want that. Yeah, it doesn't care. It doesn't care. It wants that Atlas dead. So that's what we're going to do. Timberwolf is going for the Atlas. On our side now, the Warhammer, their Timberwolf is partially hurt. So the Warhammer could do some damage, but I don't want to get there. So our Warhammer is not going to do anything. I'm going to get the Atlas, and our Atlas is going to try very hard to survive. Short range. You know what? Atlas is just going to stay. It's going to stand still. Whatever. It's dying. It's going to take out as it can. Over on their side now, we've got their Atlas. And their Atlas is into woods cover from most enemies, towards the highest health enemy, toward nearest movement value enemy, lowest movement value, which is my Atlas, and toward the nearest enemy. So it is going to get in, because it wants, doesn't matter where it's going, it's going to go right there. And it's going to take some pot shots at my Atlas and finish it off, which sucks. But that's how we're going to pull it off. Atlas has moved. My Timberwolf has moved. Now it's time for my Warhammer to move. No, Thunderbolt. Move my Thunderbolt, because their Warhammer is going to retreat, and then they get their Ostrak and their Thunderbolt. Oh, I hate losing. I got 2 left. They got 3. So I'm going to move 1. They're going to move 1. They're going to move 2. I'm going to move 1. They're going to move 1. Okay, so they're moving 2 next. So my Thunderbolt moves 8. And I want my Thunderbolt. I'm going to move my Thunderbolt over here. Is he getting lines of sight? No. No, my Thunderbolt to do damage. Yeah, I move my Thunderbolt right up here. Up there. Oh, he fell. He died. Hope that's not a sign. And the reason why I put my Thunderbolt up here is because I'm going to get a line of sight on a shot on the Timberwolf, and we're going to try and take that Timberwolf out while I can. Because Timberwolf, Thunderbolt, and maybe long distance shot from Devastator can probably do a lot of damage to that Timberwolf. Let's see if we can take it out. Okay, next on the list, their Ostrak is going. It stays stationary if any enemy is within 24 and line of sight with TMM 1 or less. Well, within 24, their Ostrak cannot see my Warhammer, cannot get a shot on anything. So then it wants to go to woods cover from most enemies toward the biggest threat, which would probably be our Devastator, or our thing, sight toward the nearest enemy. So we're going to go crosshairs on this one, and because the Ostrak moves 10, I would say that the Ostrak would run underneath. No. It's going to go right here. So the Ostrak is going to go right here, because it considers the Timberwolf a threat, and according to my laser pointer, gets a nice open shot on the Timberwolf without any cover. And he can claim cover from this rock. So we're going to put him right there. And that's going to suck. I'm going to lose to my own AI. This is great. And they also have to move their second person on the list, which happens to be the Warhammer. Now, the Warhammer has to do a force withdrawal, but it still wants to do most cover from most enemies. It still wants to follow the rules of its withdrawal. So it is going to move 8 back, directly back off the table, but try and get within line of sight to kill a few things. And in doing so, we'll actually get cover from the tree, but we'll get a shot off on my Timberwolf as it departs. Lastly, my Warhammer moves. And I think we want to I think we want to take this stupid Timberwolf down, right? Maybe? Or do we want to hurt their Atlas some more? Yeah, we could hurt their Atlas some more. So let's see if I've got line of sight on this Atlas from where I am. I do, with cover. We're going to stand still. This Warhammer's going to keep popping. Okay, time to fire. Oh, no, they got to move still. Their Thunderbolt, last to move. Jump. If the highest movement value enemy has not moved, into woods cover from most enemies. Well, all my guys have moved toward the highest movement value enemy, which happens to be my Timberwolf. Into woods cover from most enemies toward the lowest health enemy you can get behind. Toward the nearest enemy. So it jumps 8. It can get behind nothing. It can jump right here and get a shot at the Timberwolf, but it'll also get hit by the Devastator because it wants to get toward the biggest threat and where is it? Where'd it go? Toward the highest movement value, to woods cover, toward the lowest health enemy you can get behind, toward the nearest enemy. So it wants to take out my Timberwolf or my Thunderbolt. But it only jumps 8. Can't get behind there. Well, it can go there and get a shot there. But the Devastator can still hit it. Does not want to get hit. So it will. It can jump all the way over here. Ah, I know where it'll go. It could jump. No, that'll get it. It jumps right there. So by jumping there, it actually will get. Can it jump further than that? Yeah, it's going to jump here. So it will get a shot off on the Timberwolf. Everything's coming after it. It looks like we're doing Timberwolf for Timberwolf on this one. But the Devastator can't shoot it because of the walls. Okay, smart. Way to go, AI. All right, shooting time. Here we go. If a mech stands still, does it have a TMM? No, its TMM is 0 if a mech stands still. Let's go to some visuals here. Okay, so my Devastator has got shots on almost nothing because I positioned him too early in the game. But he does get an elevated shot on this Timberwolf. So let's just take a Hail Mary because it can't shoot anything else. 24 to 24? Is that within 24? Ooh, it is just within 24. So let's take a Hail Mary shot over across the field here to this Timberwolf that's sitting right there, closest on the frame. And let's see what happens because this is it, folks. This is for all the cojones, if I can pull this off, on what's going on the battlefield right now. Yeah. Let's go back to this shot here. Yeah, there it is there. So we'll go back to the shot here. And let's see what we can pull off. Okay, so the Devastator is taking a long shot all the way over to that. It's a medium shot still, but it's all the way over to that Timberwolf in the distance. And it's going to be 3, range 4, 5. He does get partial cover from that rock, so 5, 6, and TMM 7, 8. So I need 8s with the Devastator on the Timberwolf. That's Snake Eyes. That's a nothing right there. That's a whole lot of nothing. That's nothing. Nothing. Damn it. All I needed was 5 damage into that stupid Timberwolf, and that would have put it into forced withdrawal. That sucked. Well, that's the only shot it had. Let's just let's continue with the pumpage. The pumpage and crumpage. First things first. Let's put the Thunderbolt. Can the Thunderbolt get a shot off here on this Thunderbolt? Nope. Very clever. My Warhammer can't shoot anything. Okay. Let's see if we can get this Warhammer off the field here. Let's see if we can get this Timberwolf. I got to do 5 damage to force withdraw it, 7 damage to kill it. My Thunderbolt does 3, which will put it into armor, and then I can do 4 with Thunder. Okay, Thunderbolt first, shooting into the Warhammer, or into the Timberwolf. That's what we're going to do. So as you can see here on this map, and I'm just going to adjust it up a wee bit for you to see. There we go. Zoom in just a wee bit. I don't know if you can see that okay. So there you go. So my Thunderbolt, which is right here, is going to shoot all the way over there in where I just put the focus. It's just under the Battletech sign, unfortunately. But it's going to shoot all the way over and get there. So we got 3, 4, 5 for range, no cover. TMM is 2, so 7s. I need 7s. 7s. That is a 6, 7, 8, 9. So kablam! Thunderbolt takes a shot into the back of the Timberwolf Prime, taking its armor off completely and exposing 4 of its structure to the rest of the world to penetrate and destroy. Oi, 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 oi. Timberwolf, their Atlas is sitting at quite a bit. So I'm going to take my Atlas now. My Atlas is going to shoot into their Atlas, and it stood still. So my Atlas, even though it has a weapons damage malfunction, it gets 1 less weapon. So 5 is going to be 4 damage. We're going to put 4 damage into their Atlas. So I've got skill 3, didn't move, no range modifier, and cover and TMM. So I need 5s. That is exactly a 5. So pop into their Atlas, 4 damage. And that is 1 into the armor, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't put it into force withdrawal, but does give me a crit. And the crit is 3 and 4, 7. 7 is an MP hit. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent, Smithers. So half movement for each point. Bang. Womp womp. Movement point hit succeeded. And I guess at this point I might as well put... if I put the Warhammer into the Atlas, I bring it down to 1 health, and it goes into force withdrawal. It's the only shot. Or Timberwolf and kill it outright. It still gets a shot off. My Timberwolf only has a shot at that Warhammer or the Ostrak or any of the other stuff I want to shoot at right now. My Timberwolf is probably dead, to be honest. If I hit their Ostrak, I'm only taking its armor off. If I hit its Thunderbolt, I do nothing. The Warhammer's already leaving. All right, time to just take that side of the field out. So I'm going to shoot their Warhammer with my... yeah, I'm going to shoot their Warhammer. And while shooting the Warhammer, it's going to be 3, 4, 5. There's not enough cover for anything there, so it's going to be 6, 7s. That is an 11. Bam! And that is enough damage to wipe their Warhammer off the field. So we'll mark it off, but we still get to shoot back. So at least we got their Timberwolf off the field, sorry. Timberwolf is demoed. So we finally got one of their mechs off the table. And then my Warhammer's the last thing to shoot. It's going to shoot the Atlas. 3, 4, 5 for range. I stood still. And 6 for TMM, 7 for cover. So I need 7s. That is a 9. My Warhammer pops 4 into their Atlas. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It has 1 health left. What gives extra damage? Nothing. Ammo hit. Mech destroyed. 2 enchant. Two times. Ready? Here we go. 4. Fire control hit. That's not bad. But it's withdrawing. So that guy got some serious damage done to him. Enemy's turn to fire back. Here we go. First on the list is 913, which is the Thunderbolt. So their Thunderbolt's going to take a shot at my Timberwolf, and it's going to be 3, 4, 5 for range, 6, 7 TM up, 8 for jumping. That's it, 8s. Ugh, 8. Damn it. And their Thunderbolt does 3 to my Timberwolf, which is the first 3 points of armor. That's not good. That's not good. The Ostrak. No, follow order here. Follow the cards, Tom. The parting shot from the Warhammer as it's leaving. And it is range 2, 3 for cover. So 3 skill, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the TMM. So it's got 8s to hit my... Whew, thank God. 5. That would have been 6 damage, and that would have devastated my guy. And that Warhammer is going to be off the field next turn. So I will, but it gets to do activation at least. So I will keep it on just strictly for activation. But the Warhammer is gone. It's another one off the field for them. Next on the list is Thunderbolt is gone. The Warhammer is gone. Now it is time for their Ostrak to shoot. So the Ostrak's going to take a shot on my Timberwolf. It's skill 3, 4, 5 for range, no cover, 6, 7 for TMM. It needs 7s. That's the 10. Boo-hoo, bagoo-hoo. That's 4 damage into my Timberwolf, which is 4 more of its armor, down to 1 armor left. That's its firing. Next on the list of fire is the Atlas. We know the Atlas is going to go toward range band, which is going to be my Atlas. Can destroy, which is my Atlas. No cover. I have cover. Lowest TMM, stood still, and nearest. So, 3. No TMM, no range, cover. So I need 4s. This is for the marbles, 4s. Oh, that's a 9. Okay, well that means that my Atlas takes 5, which puts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has 1 health left, but now my Atlas is going to be retreating. But it was worth it though. And then we've got their Devastator, which has no shots on anything. Nope. And their Timberwolf going to get their parting shot off. And their Timberwolf's parting shot is going to be lowest TMM, which is my Atlas. Can destroy, which is my Atlas, because the Thunderbolt hasn't been hit yet, so it will want to hit my Atlas. Can crit, my Atlas, and nearest. All right. Oh, well, if it's just a complete wipe on the field, that's what it is. 3, is that short range? Might even be short range. Yep. So 3, just 3. I rolled a 1 and a 6. Oh, damn it. Okay, I saw the 1. Well, my Atlas goes off the board. So in a parting shot, Atlas versus Atlas. Their Atlas wins, but see you later, Timberwolf. Off the board it goes. My Warhammer is in good shape because their Atlas is in forced withdrawal, which is nice. My Timberwolf survived barely with 1 armor left. It's a good round. My Thunderbolt is still in good shape. My Devastator is still in good shape. And their Devastator is partially wounded. Their Warhammer is retreating. And I think there's a chance to turn this fight around, friends. So first things first, take these cards back. And reshuffle it up and redeal it. The Warhammer will get 1 this turn because it will still activate for initiative. If I could, for Christ's sakes, win initiative. Okay, let's roll for initiative. Let's see if I can get something figured out here. They get to roll a 6. I'm going to roll a 12. This is it, friends. This is the turnaround match. Bum, 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 bum. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Okay, let me just zoom up here to show you guys what's going to happen. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Dun, dun. Bum, 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 bum. So since I won initiative, they got to move first. And the fastest on theirs is their Thunderbolt. So if first, jump to 12 inches from the nearest enemy into woods cover from most enemies. So it wants to jump within 12 inches of the nearest enemy. So the Thunderbolt is literally right here, and it's going to want to jump to within 12 inches of the nearest enemy, which means that it wants to back up a little bit from the Thunderbolt. So it's going to go back here. Woods cover from most enemies. I think the right position for it to jump, so this jumps 8. It's going to hide in there and get cover from most, and get cover. There you go. Oh, it jumped. There you go. Now, we get to go. Well, we've only got 4 mechs, so hee. And none of them are in forced withdrawal right now, which is good. So let's move our Devastator. And let's get this Devastator devastating. Not yet, actually. So their Atlas is withdrawing, which means that my Warhammer gets a chance to run. I'm going to make my Warhammer sprint. I'm not going to get it shooting this turn, so it's going to go 12. But we need to get it, like, going, if you know what I mean. So it's going to vum, 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 vum. Because their Atlas is in forced withdrawal, it's got to go back. So I'm going to run right up here. Sprint. Get that Warhammer in there. Thump, 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 thump. Down goes the Warhammer. Their turn now. 166 is their Ostrak. The Ostrak is going to go to 18 inches from the nearest enemy, which would be... It wants to back up. Looks like they're in retreat mode this time around. To woods cover from most enemies, line of sight of the lowest TMM. And into line of sight of the nearest enemy within 24. He's withdrawing. Looks like these guys are falling back. Looks like this little ambush of yours didn't quite work out, eh? Tough guys. Tough guys. Tough guys. That Warhammer is going to retreat. So we're going to put him... We're going to put this Ostrak right back here into this section right there. And claim cover. No. He's got 8, so he's going to move right behind this section right there. So he's hiding behind the main generator that we have to get, and he's going to hold cover there. Then, I love how they're all retreating. Son of a guns. Now we get to make our move. We've moved the Thunderbolt. We ran it, or sorry, moved the Warhammer. We ran it. Timberwolf Prime is going to make a move now. I'm going to weave this guy into the battlefield nicely. If I go there. There's a Devastator over there I don't want to take on. So maybe I'll hold on to the Timberwolf. Maybe I'll move my Devastator. I want my Devastator to get some shots. Devastator's going to move here. Take some cover there. He's got a lane of fire down that angle there. Now they get to move. The next thing is their Warhammer, who's retreating. So we'll take the 8 that Warhammer gets, and we leave the battlefield. The Warhammer's gone. He's like, peace, guys. I don't want to deal with this shenaniganery. So that Warhammer's gone. See you later, Warhammer. Thanks for coming out. And no, not even any parting fire, eh? What a jabron. Okay. Timberwolf and Thunderbolt left for me. And then they've got their Devastator and Atlas, but I get last say. Okay, let's move my Thunderbolt, which is 8. Yeah, their Atlas is going to go last, so they're going to soak up the last bit there. So let's get this Thunderbolt shooting and tooting over here. It's going to move 6. It's going to get here. Or it's going to move 6. It's going to go here. Yeah. So we're going to move them. No, that's bad. Do not want that Devastator to hit me. Devastator versus Devastator. Let's go them out. So let's move this Timberwolf. Yeah, Timberwolf's going to go right here. So he's going to get cover, plus secondary cover, and he's going to try and tango with that Thunderbolt. Does he want to tango with Thunderbolt? Timberwolf is sitting at 1 health. That tree sucks. I could weave over here. Could weave over here. Fight those two guys. That's not a good idea. And he could weave further back. Smart move is to weave over here and stay hidden. So my Timberwolf's going to stay hidden this turn. So I'm going to come around and pop them next turn. And then they get to move their Devastator, which is going to ground movement toward the most enemies within line of sight, into woods cover from most enemies toward the lowest TMM, which is my Devastator, which I forgot to mark. There you go. And within 24 inches of the nearest enemy within 24, within line of sight, and toward the nearest enemy. So all of those conditions means it wants either to try and get into a position to shoot my Timberwolf, which it can't from any angle that it... Ooh, maybe it can get a long shot. But it wants my Devastator. It wants to tango my Devastator. So within 24, it wants to move up a little bit. So I think it's going to do this. It's literally just going to go right here and claim cover. And if you take the laser pointer, take a look at the wide angle. We've got Devastator versus Devastator, cover versus cover, ground versus ground. They're devastating each other. They're just going to go at it. It's the good old devastation station. And then, of course, my last movement is the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt gets to move 8. 6 technically because it's losing 2 inches to dismount. That Atlas is going to come back and shoot him. I can smell it. So we got to be smart about this. Thunderbolt's going to come down for 6. And I think maybe it wants to go up. Thunderbolt does not want to face the Devastator. So it at least wants to tango with the other Thunderbolt, as I shouldn't be hiding, right? I got full armor. So does their Thunderbolt. And their Awestruck is unhit too. But their Devastator could take a beating if I double team the Devastator. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to literally dismount and take cover behind the rock here, protecting from those two entirely and getting a shot at the Devastator. That's what we're going to do. Because I think it's all within 24. Yep. Okay. Well, that makes it nice and easy. And then the last thing is their Atlas, which moves 6 into retreat mode. It wants to go back off the board. It's going to be a pain in the ass for a few rounds as it goes this way. Still wants cover from most enemies, so it's going to back up like this. It's going to get no shots on anything. It's just going to keep trying to retreat. All right, fireball time. Here we go. My Devastator versus their Devastator. My Thunderbolt versus their Devastator. My Timberwolf gets no shots this round. Thunderbolt gets no shot, or Warhammer gets no shots this round. None of their stuff gets shots except for their Devastator. Nice and easy. All right, let's roll some dice. Let's roll some dice. Nice. Just going to quickly, I need to see the feed on this one. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Check it out. We're going to go, I'm just going to rearrange this so you can see what's about to happen in this fight. Devastator versus Devastator. There you go. There's the first Devastator in the distance. You can see. Yeah? And then there's my Devastator, which is hidden behind. My Devastator's hidden here. The other Devastator's over there. So we're going to take a nice 24-inch pot shot all the way over there to take that guy out. If I can hit him, my Devastator is going to deal 5 damage, which will strip his armor, and then let my Thunderbolt do the rest. Because the Devastator only has 4 health, which is delish. So first things first. 3, 4, 5 for distance. TMM 6, 7 for cover. I need 7s. Let's roll it right here. That is a 6. So I suck. Damn it. Now my Thunderbolt's going to take a shot. Also needs 7s. That's an 8. So at least the Thunderbolt does its thing and puts 3 damage into its armor, bringing it to 2 armor left. Not enough to do what I want it to do. Oh well. Their Devastator is the only thing that can fire back, so I'm going to skip all the other AI and just go right back into it, except that I'm going to read the AI to see who it wants to shoot. So they are both in the same range band. What can it destroy with its 7 damage? Well, with 7 damage, it can take all the armor off my Thunderbolt and all the armor off my Devastator. Same thing. Lowest TMM, my Devastator. No cover, doesn't matter. Nearest Thunderbolt. It wants to shoot the lowest TMM for best shot, so it is going to shoot my Devastator. 3, 4, 5 for range, 6 for cover, 7 for TMM. Right here. That is a 5. So no dice, as they call it. That round was all whifferonis. So now, we'll do this as the final round. I'll get rid of all of the components off of this. And we'll see what happens at the end of this round. Definitely I did not math it out correctly to see if I could get the generation. I think it should just be a straight out battle at this point, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's just play it out. Initiative. They get an 8, and we get an 8. It's a roll-off. They get a 5. I get a 6. I'm going first. You're going to suck. I'm going first. You're going to suck. All right, so I've got... let's put the new cards out. Okay. So they have to go first. And unfortunately, the thing that has to go first for them is the Devastator. Although what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it out for a Skirmisher deck. My Brawlers are going to become Skirmishers now. So I think that's the right thing to do. Because we're in a really weird situation. So their Devastator is going to go. So the first thing that's going to go on their side, actually, is the Thunderbolt. If first, jump to most enemies in line of sight. And woods covered from most enemies. We want to get to where most enemies are in its line of sight, but it is protected from most, and it's going to go toward the nearest TMM enemy. So it wants to jump its 8 and get most of the enemies it can get in line of sight while being protected. Currently, that 8 is going to be... Ooh, that's a tough one for it. This is a tough one for it, you know? Where would it go? Because it's skirmishing. If it wants most enemies in line of sight and cover from most enemies, it is likely going to... It doesn't want to jump to the highest point. It's going to go right here. That gets most enemies in line of sight. Okay. Now we get to go. I think it's time for me to move my Devastator, because I want that guy to get into action this turn. So we're going to move my Devastator up here. Right like that. So it gets all kinds of line of fire. Yeah, we're going to combat now. We're bloodbathing this. Let's do it. Let's bloodbath this. Bloodbath and beyond. Their Devastator gets to go now. Ground toward the furthest enemy it can get behind. Go toward the furthest enemy. Into the woods covered from most enemies. Into line of sight with the fewest enemies. And because it only moves 6, it's going to want to go. Oh, I see what it's going to do. It's literally going to go here. It's going to rock around here. No. It's going to go right there. Tuck in and take some shots. It's going to fight, claim cover, and take some shots. Nope, it won't do that because of the other stupid Warhammer. It will. Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will. It's going to go right here and claim cover from this and against the other Devastator and have a devastation war again. Our Devastator went. It is now Thunderbolt territory. Let's do 8. No, maybe the Warhammer. It's the Warhammer's turn. Let's do the Warhammer. Warhammer goes 8, right? Yeah. Can the Warhammer get a shot off over here? Yes, it can. Warhammer's going right there. He's going to take a shot. Can't get behind the Devastator, unfortunately, but he's going to try and shoot the side of the Thunderbolt. Dun, 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 dun. Just going to quickly put the camera into the battlefield here so you can see what's happening. There we go. There. There's your close-up, folks. Nice clear shot of what's going on here. We got the Devastator right here going into battle against the Thunderbolt and the other Devastator. My Warhammer shooting in behind over here. And that was our move. So we did our Warhammer just moved. Now next on their list is the Ostrak. So their Ostrak is going toward the furthest enemy you can get behind, toward the furthest enemy, into woods cover from most enemies, and line of sight, mumbo jumbo umbo. It knows that these guys are going to come after it, so it cannot get behind those. It cannot get behind okay, maybe it wants to take on the Warhammer, though. So it can literally go through here. Yeah. Let's see here. Actually, it gets a nice clean shot right now. Does it have a ground movement? Toward fewest enemies in line of sight. Currently, it satisfies the fewest enemies in line of sight condition, and it can't really be affected by anything else. But the Devastator could shoot it where it is. Woods cover from most enemies toward the furthest enemy. So it's going to want to move into this Devastator. So we're going to go... I see. Yeah. It's got a 10 movie. So it's actually going to try and go in here with its back to the building. And claim woods. Slash cover from most enemies. I think that's where it'll go. No, it doesn't want to go there. No, that's a bad move because it does need to consider the activation of the Timberwolf, and it doesn't want to deal with the Timberwolf's 10 movement. But knowing that my Timberwolf is toast, it does want to get some clean shots off, so maybe its correct course of movement is to just... It actually wants to stay still. It's staying where it is. It still has to move, though, so it will be considered a shift because of the AI. This is one of the flaws of the AI right now. It's just going to shift, so it's not actually going to move anywhere. It's going to force my Timberwolf to come after it. And that's kind of what the Thunderbolt or the Timberwolf should do. So my Thunderbolt moves 8. I don't want the Thunderbolt in the way of the Devastator. So my Thunderbolt's going to go right here. It's going to go under and around and here and take cover, and it's going to shoot that Thunderbolt. It can tangle with that Thunderbolt. It'll get cover, but their Thunderbolt will not. They get to go, and then my Timberwolf goes last. So their Atlas is retreating 6 more, obviously, trying to get off the battlefield. So their Atlas is going to go here. It can get a shot. I believe it gets... I don't like this at all, but it is going to get a parting shot on my Devastator. So that Atlas could do some serious damage to me right now. And then lastly is my Timberwolf. Now, I want to do some serious hoo-ha to people with this Timberwolf, but my Timberwolf can't afford to get shot. So I have to position this. They've got all of the angles covered. I just can't seem to get a shot off without getting shot myself. So I've got to position this in a way that makes sense. My Timberwolf can go all the way over here, but then it risks Ostrak shooting. My Timberwolf, in theory... No, it can't go there. I want to get out of the range band while taking a shot. So I guess I could... I don't know where to put him. Oh, sorry, that's my big arm you see there. Let's see here. I guess I could back up and get a shot in tango with the Devastator. But the Devastator will shoot me because... my Devastator's got too much armor, and if he gets a can destroy model, he's going to shoot me. And I don't want that because my Timberwolf is down to 1 armor. So I think the correct course of action is to try and take out. If I go all the way over here. Their Timberwolf, their guy will get a shot off on me? Yeah, they will. Okay, I'm going to go back here and see if I can get line of sight. Yeah, clean line of sight on the Devastator. He'll get some shots on me, but we'll see what happens. Okay, now we get to shoot. So, based on shots, and what you're seeing here is my Timberwolf is, I'm going to back up a little bit here. Zing. Bling. So I can get my Timberwolf in there. There he be. Zoom this guy out a little bit. There we go. All right, here's what we got, folks. Here's what we got. My Timberwolf right here is going to take a shot at this Devastator because it's the only thing it can really hit in the distance. This Devastator has options. He could shoot the Ostrak. He could shoot the Thunderbolt. He could shoot the Devastator. And if you really wanted to, he could just take that Atlas off the board to prevent any parting shots. My Thunderbolt, all the way over here, or my Warhammer, can only shoot the Thunderbolt. So that's a shot. That's the only shot it's going to take. My Thunderbolt here is going to shoot under the arch at the Thunderbolt there. And those are my shots. So since the Timberwolf only has a shot on the Devastator, I think the Timberwolf's going to take a shot on the Devastator and see what happens. So let's roll that one first. So the Timberwolf needs skill 3. It's in medium range, so it's 5. No cover, but +1 for TMM, so I need 6s. Timberwolf needs 6s. Let's see if I can land 6s. That is a 5 + 1 is 6. So the Timberwolf connects 5 damage into the Devastator. Their Devastator is 2 armor and 3 hull, which puts it down to 1 hull, forced withdrawal. And my crit is a 5, which is no critical hit. And that's fine. So the Devastator is toast my ghost. Next thing. My Warhammer is going to take a shot into the back of their Thunderbolt. See if we can get some damage here. 3, no cover. Range 4/5. Jump is 6. 6. TMM for the Thunderbolt is +1, so 7. So I need 7s. That is a 6 + 1, which is a 7. So my Warhammer puts 4 damage into the side of their Thunderbolt, which takes out more than half of its armor. Now, I think my Devastator does 5 damage, which will not put it into forced withdrawal. But my Thunderbolt does 3 damage, which will take out all of its armor, and then I can just kill it. Or the Ostrak will put it into... Yeah, there's lots to shoot here, because that Devastator's still going to get angles on us while it's retreating. So what I'm going to do is my Devastator is going to put 5 into their Thunderbolt. No. Yeah, my Devastator is going to take out their Thunderbolt. No, their Devastator's got 7, though. I don't want to deal with that next turn. What a waste, you know? Fine. I'm going to put it into the Thunderbolt. So, 3. 4/5 for range. 6. 7 for cover. 8 for jumping. So I need 8s. That is a 5. That is a complete whiff. Jabroni. I guess the Thunderbolt's going to do the same. 3. No cover. Range 4/5. Jumping for 6. 7. That is a 6. Missed again. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it. Those are all my shots. Their turn. Top of the list for them is the Atlas. I can't believe the Atlas can shoot me. So the Atlas can only shoot my Devastator, so we're going to go for a 3. It is likely in medium range. Yep. So it's 3, 4/5, 6 for cover, 7 for TMM. That's a 5, so the Atlas misses. Their Devastator, actually next on the list is their Ostrak. The Ostrak's only shot it can take is on my Devastator. 3, 4/5 for range, 6 for TMM, 7 for cover. That is a 4, so that misses. And then their Thunderbolt, which I'm going to follow their Thunderbolt's... the Devastator's going to shoot first. Lowest range band, which for what it can hit is either the Devastator or the Thunder or the Timberwolf, which doesn't matter. Highest threat, which I think is the Devastator because it has more health. Lowest TMM, Devastator. Nearest, Devastator. It's shooting my Devastator. Devastator versus Devastator. So it is 3, 4/5 for range, 6 for cover, 7 for TMM, but if it hits, it's 7 damage. Oh, god damn, that's 10. Oh, God, 7 damage. Come on. Oh my, that Atlas shouldn't have fired. It only moves half movement. 7 damage, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is all of the armor of the Devastator. So, oh, you going to Essen? That's great. I'm going to be likely hitting Essen as well, so that's going to be very cool. Well, it looks like they took all the armor off my Devastator, which sucked. And now we've got, finally, the last thing for them to shoot is their Thunderbolt, which, according to its record, it wants to shoot what it can destroy. It can destroy the Devastator by force withdrawal. It can shoot the other Thunderbolt, but it can't do nothing to it, so it will shoot the Devastator. So it is 3, 4, 5 for range, 6 for jumping, 7 for TMM, nothing for cover. 7s. 3. Oh, thank God. Missed. And that's it. One more round, just to see what happens. See if I can pull this off. I'm hoping I can. Thunderbolt here, Ostrak here. I get Devastator because it is still in, as well as the Atlas, because they haven't moved yet. And now it is time for the Grandiose Initiativo. They roll. Oh, crap. An 8, and I roll a 6. So they're going to go first. I'm going to go first because they won initiative. That stinks because they got 2 things in forced withdrawal, but that's going to soak initiative up. So I've got to be very smart. This round I got to be super smart because they could really just kill me on the way out. So first things first on my end. I've got 4. They've got 4. How do we pull this off? So this Devastator is going to go here. I need to just basically hide over here as best I can. So I'm going to move my Devastator first. And it's going to go, this tree's in the way, but it's going to literally just going to go right here. And it's got cover from most stuff because that Devastator has to leave. It's not going to come after me. Their Thunderbolt could go behind me. What goes first on their side? Their Devastator. Oh, man. No, I gotta go there. That's where I'm going. I've done it. I made the move. Could burn me in the backside if I just go like this a little bit. There we go. So they can't get behind at least. And that's +1. Now they get to go. Lowest on their card is their Devastator. They are running away like chickens. He's going to go 6. Get angles on us, which is nice. Whew. Okay. And now we get to go again. Now it is my Thunderbolt's turn. Oh, I'm going to save my Warhammer to the end. My Thunderbolt's going to go 8. I want him to go right here. No. Yeah. No, yeah. No, yeah. No, yeah. No, yeah. Yes. Thunderbolt's going to go right here. Get angles everywhere. That's what we're going to do. Because he's not hurt, right? So let's get him in. I suppose I could have sprinted to the thing and tried to figure that out. If it's aces, don't you still go by initiative number on the card? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Which is why the Devastator went next, because I got it under Skirmisher deck now. The next on the list is the Atlas on the Skirmisher deck. And so the Atlas is only moving 3, but it is still withdrawing. What sucks about this, though, is that even though it is only moving 3, the fact that it's hampered and trying to get off the battlefield means it's cutting off all of my lanes and causing major issues for things that, like, it can shoot anywhere. We have to be very careful. Next is, so I just did the Thunderbolt. But yeah, you still follow initiative. I moved my Devastator. Now I got to move my Timberwolf because I want the Warhammer to be last. Crap. Their Thunderbolt is the last thing to move. Oh, it's so bad for my Thunderbolt. All right. I've got to get moving here. All right, I gotta move the Thunderbolt. I don't care. I gotta move it. I gotta move it. Move it. All right, Thunderbolt's going right here, so you can see under the arch and shoot stuff from under the arch. That's what I've got to do. It's what you got to do when they come for you. All right, next up is Ostrak. Ostrak. So, if any enemy is within 24 and line of sight with one team member or less, stay still. Yes, it's actually probably wants to stay still. Yeah, it wants to stay still because it has a great protected vantage, although it does have, yeah, it has a great protected advantage. It's covered from everything, and it can shoot my Devastator to get rid of it. So it's going to stand still based on its intelligence, and it's actually got not bad because it has cover from everything. Lucky son of a gun. And last but not least is my Timberwolf, which I've got to be very careful because there's a massive firing lane down here. If I move over here, the Atlas and the Devastator can get me. And I wish I could have moved that Thunderbolt, but I need to get super clever here. That Atlas can shoot me from so far away. If I do this, if you look here, the Atlas is so far away. It's all the way down there. But if I move I can move my Timberwolf all the way over here and maybe get out of their arc of the Devastator. And if I can, I'm doing it because I can try and pot shot it and just get it off the board for future angle cutting. But that means, no, there's just no way. No, there's just no way. There's just no way. But can I run and get a shot at the Ostrak? No, there's just no way. This Timberwolf can't do anything. All right, Timberwolf is going. Ooh, indirect fire is a thing. Timberwolf's going to stay still. I'm going to start spotting. We're going to do some indirect fire. Because Timberwolf has, I forgot about indirect fire. What the hell's wrong with me? It has indirect fire 2. That does some significant damage. If I can get something to spot it. Oh, I'm dumb. The Thunderbolt can see the Devastator. Shoot. Oh, no. Oh, I just put my healthiest mech in front of the retreating garbage mech. And then their Thunderbolt's going to go. It is going to jump to the low. If the lowest health enemy is not moved into woods covered from most enemies, toward the lowest health enemy, toward the fewest enemies in line of sight. So it's going to ground move. And it's literally probably going to go toward the lowest health enemy, which happens to be my Devastator right now. Oh, it's not good. 8. Can it jump all the way up here? If it jumps up here, Thunderbolt can't hit it. These two can't hit it, but I can't hit it. Oh my god. So, if it jumps all the way up here, it can shoot the Devastator and cannot be shot by these two because of the angles and the difference. The Devastator could shoot it. So in that case, it will jump here. Nope. Can it jump here? No. This is a tough one. It says that jump toward the lowest health enemy that has not yet moved, but they've all moved, toward the lowest health enemy, which happens to be the Devastator or the Timberwolf. Fewest enemies in line of sight, minimum 1, and woods cover most enemies toward the furthest enemy. So it actually wants to jump toward the Timberwolf because it's jumping. It can literally jump right here. And what sucks about that is I believe it gets cover from everything. and gets a shot off on the Timberwolf, but can joust the Timberwolf. And because the Timberwolf didn't move, right on. That sucks. Okay, let's roll for damage. First things first. Let's get dangerous. The Devastator needs to put 5 into that Ostrak and get rid of its armor so that the Thunderbolt can make it withdraw. And can my where's my laser pointer? Can my Warhammer hit? Yeah, my Warhammer can actually hit it without any hindrances whatsoever. So the Warhammer puts 4 into it, and then the Devastator can put 5 into it, which is 9, which will automatically almost take it off the field. This is tough. Let's do it. Let's start with can my Thunderbolt hit? Yeah, my Thunderbolt is also jousting the Devastator on their side. So we've got issues all around here. So let's start with their Thunderbolt. Sadly, if I deal 5 to it, I could get it into a crit and maybe kill it. Or I can indirect fire, which I don't want to do. Let's start with the Devastator. Devastator is going to shoot the Ostrak, because that's the best target for it to shoot, only target for it to shoot, which is going to be 3, 4, 5 for range, 6, 7 for cover. It stood still. So 7. It needs 7s. That is a 5. Thanks. Good job, Devastator. You suck. Warhammer is going to shoot the Ostrak. It's 3, 4, 5. No TMM for range. So it's going to be a 5. It's going to spot. So that's going to be 6. 6s. Really? It's a 5. If I didn't spot, I would have hit it. Well, it spots. My own darn fault. The Thunderbolt has indirect fire 1. Since it's spotted on the Devastator, it's better to just take a shot, I think. But the Thunderbolt has to hit the Ostrak. It's not going to take its armor off. So I think maybe its better thing is to just get rid of that Devastator so we don't have to deal with it in the future. Crap. All right, well, let's just take a shot then. 3, 4, 5, TMM 6, cover 7. It needs 7s. It's not going to indirect fire. It's just going to go 7s straight up on the Devastator from the Thunderbolt. 3. Missed. Oh, my God. I think this is the round, friends. Oh, God. I guess the best thing to do at this point is to try and take that Thunderbolt down a notch by just putting damage into it with my very much standstill Timberwolf. So it's 3, 4, 5 for range. Jump 5, 6, 7, 8 for flying, 7 because he stood still, and rolled a 5. So my guy's totally missed. So let's just see what devastation they pull back on the swing back. Following the order of effect, the Thunderbolt's going to get a pot shot down on my guy. So it's 3, 4, 5 for range, no cover, +1 for jumping. So 6, -1 for, that's it, so just 6, because there's no standstill benefit. And it rolls a 7. So of course it does. So so it just put 3 into my Timberwolf, which takes 1 off and puts 2 into the armor, forcing it to force withdrawal. And I mean, just give me boxcars. Close. 9, which is no critical hit. So my Timberwolf now has to retreat. So it cannot complete the mission. So I think that Timberwolf is toast. Now the next thing is their Devastator has only 1 target it can shoot, and it's my Thunderbolt or my Warhammer. So their Devastator is going to follow lowest TMM, which is the Thunderbolt. 1, and the Warhammer is 1, so they're tied. Range, same range. No cover. The Thunderbolt and the Warhammer have cover, and the nearest, which is the Warhammer. So it is going to shoot the Warhammer for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Snake Eyes. Totally missed. Thank God. Because that would have just wiped all the armor off my Warhammer. The Atlas gets a pot shot off on no one, because we were very clever. The Ostrak gets its shot now. What can it destroy? Well, it can destroy the Devastator, so it is just basically going for that because it's also the nearest. So it's 3, 4, 5 for range, 6 for cover, 7 for TMM. 6 because it stood still. Oh, look at that, 6. Right on. Oh. And that Ostrak deals 4, and ironically, the Devastator only has 4 health. So my Devastator goes kaplink. I think I lost this fight. All I have left is a Thunderbolt and a Warhammer. Now, albeit they're untouched. And they have, this is actually really interesting. So they have an Atlas, and they have a Devastator retreating. So if I can just skirt them, technically it's Warhammer and Thunderbolt versus Ostrak and Thunderbolt. Their Ostrak is full. Their Thunderbolt is... should I go one more? I think I'm going to go one more. Just to see what happens. Maybe. No, I think we're good. I've got to go anyway. I have to be back to... I have to get back to my children tonight. So the AI works wonderful. So let's do a little battle report on this. I failed the mission, which is awesome. I did not get anywhere near... If we were actually going by turn count earlier, I failed the mission big time. Because I did not get to the objective. The objective is actually covered quite well by if we just let's see here. I get the camera out here. Zoom out a wee bit. There. I failed the objective. The objective was for me to get to this device, but the Ostrak is hiding behind it and defended it very well. The Thunderbolt came to its defense here as well. Even though I did take out the 2 big mechs and retreat them, even though I did not the 2 mechs to retreat them, I managed to lose the match. So all I had left was 2 mechs. They had 2 mechs. Technically, we had a little bit of extra energy, but we had a force withdrawal, and I think that's it. I lost the mission. Barely, but as a mirror match goes, it was quite mirror matchy. It was actually quite good. So I really appreciate you guys watching. I think that's it. It was a long run. Apologies for the tech at the beginning. Apparently HDMIs and all kinds of cables get in the way when you have different setups, and reset all of our settings. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to be back next week again for another round. I'll have it all set up in advance, and stay tuned for more updates and information. Much love. Take care, everybody. Bye. Spread the word. Subscribe.